Okay, hello everybody. This is Tony Van Schoik
Jay Treelor.
and we're sharing with you our new favorite. It's basically a podcasting connector app called Clubhouse. And right now, as we are here today on Monday, February 15th of 2021, we're in beta testing. So it's only on iPhones and iPads. I got involved in this app about 2.5 weeks ago. Lori had been prompting me to really share and get on this because it is going to be a game changer for anybody that has any business whatsoever. The gamut runs from, from Etsy store owners all the way up to, massive speakers and platform and people that have massive platforms. So Lori, you helped me to discover this platform. And I'm so glad that you did, even though I didn't listen to you at first. But let's talk a little bit.
Nobody does.
Talk about a little bit about what you've learned through this and how, it's helped me make connections, but it's also helped me with two of our businesses. How has it helped you?
Oh my goodness. Well, it's just really helped develop quality relationships in a very quick time. The ability to become intimate when you're talking to somebody in a way that's speedily, that's a word. They say in Clubhouse time that a week is basically a year. If you are engaging with somebody in that fashion, that quickly, and you're able to truly listen to them and ask questions and engage with them, it's basically, I akin it to the telephone back in the 1800s. It's like, it's this opportunity, especially in COVID, when we're just so hungry for human interaction, to be able to have this app that is, if I take a second to talk about the quality of the app, the ability to have somebody right in your ear and really, really hear them. It's so hard to even do that in a tummy to tummy situation when you're at a bar, you're at a coffee shop and you're talking to somebody and you're distracted. This app really allows you to focus on people, to listen to them and really hear them right away, and then to take action. So it's a podcast where you have, everybody's trying to give value. You've got to have some substance about yourself. Of course, you can go and listen and take all that information in. So I would really tell people not to be scared of that aspect. If you don't, if you're somebody that struggles like with Instagram or with Facebook, feeling like you have a contribution, that you cannot make a contribution, this app is for you, because you can easily make a contribution by going and listening to somebody and then taking it off the app and messaging them privately if you're not comfortable at first to talk to them. When I first came into the app, and I have experience with public speaking. I was a speech and debate coach for over 20 years. And so I would have thought that I would not be somebody that would be a little nervous about it. But I think the intimacy is what was made me nervous at first. It wasn't the ability to speak. It was the level of intimacy that I wanted to commit or that I was willing to accept. But what I did at first is I came into the app, I sat, I listened, I would watch people in the audience, and we're going to talk, I know, about the specific layout of it, but I would see that people that were in the audience that were staying and listening for a long period of time. And I went to Instagram, because you can connect through Instagram or Twitter. I'm not a Twitter person. But I would go to Instagram and I would message them privately in Instagram, and I would talk to them specifically about what was being talked about in the group, because I felt like if they're there and they're listening and they are newer, and I was focusing on the people with the hats, which are the people that are new, that have been in the app for less than 7 days. And for me, when I started, it was 14 or 10 days that you had the hat. I realized that they were probably nervous like myself. So I engaged with them privately. Did everybody respond back? No. But the people that did, I have quality relationships now. And that was 6 weeks ago. 6 weeks ago that I feel like some of these people are like really, really close friends, closer than some of my friends that I've been friends with since high school. So that's kind of a little bit of a rundown of my initial experience with it.
Well, great. So let's get people started. Let's share our screen. Let's talk about the high level overview of how to use this app, because you guys, this is Instagram in its infancy, and we've heard many people talk about it. It's a platform where you can talk and discuss many different things, actually pretty much anything that you want to talk about. So let me just share this with you here real quick. All right, can we all see? Are we good?
Yep.
All right. So you guys, if you know me at all, I suck at PowerPoint. I did not do this. Actually, Naomi did it, and she did a great job, but we're going to try to get through this. And we threw this together very quickly because we wanted to capitalize on what we think that what we know is going to be a game changer. And you guys, I love to speak. I love to share. I love to bring value. And that's what this platform is. It's about bringing value. So let me get started here. And Lori, you just jump in because
Okay.
you are more educated on this than I am. So you guys, here we are. We have step one. This is to download the app. Now, the icon is a little bit different. It's still a black and white of a person, but it's a person faced the other way. They just changed it like 2 days or yesterday, I think. But this is the Clubhouse app and what it looks like on iPhone. And you can only get it on iPhone or iPad. It's in beta testing. So that's why you need an invite, and it's not on Droid yet. Notice I said yet. Lori, they don't have a date when that's going to come out yet, do they?
They don't. I've heard March, but that's not happening. In fact, I went to 2 weeks ago. They have every Sunday they have a forum, and there's only 10 people that work for the company right now. They just hired the 10th person who is starting to seek talent to develop that part of the app. So it's not going to be for a significant amount of time. And so I would tell you, honestly, if you have been sitting on the fence of should I buy a second phone or should I convert to iPhone, this app is worth every freaking penny to do it now. I would lay down and raffle off my 2 children.
Right. The other thing is too, is that it can go off an iPad. So you can buy an iPad for $2.99. It would be a business investment. So it's an expense.
Or if you have the Big Sur update for your MacBook, you can also run it as an app on your MacBook.
Correct.
So there you go. So there's different opportunities here, but again, what we think like Bitcoin was 11 years ago, here we are right now. What Instagram was 5 years ago, this is going to be the next influencer platform. So,
and if you're a person that listens to podcasts or listens to audiobooks, jump backwards and do it now, because it will be a game changer for your business to be an early adopter in something like this and establish yourself and get comfortable. Holy bejesus. It's do it.
Yeah. What I love is that there's so many people from, across the pond. There's a lot of people from the UK, from Europe, and a ton of people from Australia. So there's huge opportunity here, guys, because as you grow your business and as business becomes more global, that's exactly what you want. So let me go on to the next screen. So actually, I want to go on to this screen. I want to backtrack to this one here in a second. So Lori, do you want to?
Yes, ma'am.
Why don't you speak to these three? Since you had shared these with me, and these are kind of like boom, boom, boom. So why don't you speak to these?
Okay. Let me, I want to back up just 1 second about being invited and coming, because I know that this is one that I'm going to talk about here. There are a few ways to get on this app. If you know somebody that's on the app, this is probably the best way, in my opinion, at this point, is do not download the app yet. If you have an iPhone and you know somebody that's on the app, make sure that you send them your phone number, ask them to put your phone number into their contacts, and you make sure you have their phone number, the phone number that they use for the app, into your phone contacts. Then download the app. And what that will do is that would send me, like if Tony wasn't on and I had Tony's phone number and she had mine, that would send me a message that triggers, Tony has joined. Do you want to vouch for her? Do you want to allow her to come into your room, your clubhouse, your space? That is the best way. That's just the best way in my opinion right now, because invites are very hard to come by, and not only they're hard to come by, but people are not giving them out as much. And the reason, and I will tell you, I sat on my first invites for quite a while, because what happens is if you send an invite to somebody and they've already either been invited, or they are engaged with another person that's already in Clubhouse, it will waste that invite and accept and allow, like let's say for example, Anne invited Tony before I invited Tony, or then what it would do is it would throw my invite away, and it would give Tony Anne's invite. So you want to make sure, one, that they've opened the app, that they've got on, and they haven't already been invited by somebody else. Okay, so that's a confusing part. And once you give your invites away, you cannot take them back. So, but then the second way is to actually get with somebody, and you know that they have it. You've matched your phone numbers up in your contacts, and then you just simply invite them from, and this, okay, my age is showing here. I gotta look at this small. Okay, so the first screen shows my profile. And on that profile, well, let me go to the second screen. The second screen shows the number of invites that I had. I had 2 invites, and then it shows, if you scan down that middle, it shows the people in my contacts, and it shows how many people they're connected to. So let's say, for example, I can't read this, Tony, the second one down, who is it?
Franklin Ranch Pet.
Okay, let's say I was going to invite my vet, and it says that he has, 16 or something. I can't read the number, but that many contacts. I would want to contact him, and I would want to make sure before I sent him an invite that he, one, wasn't already on the app or had not been invited, and frankly was interested in participating. Okay, so you've got to do a little bit of work before you blanketly just invite or get invited. Okay, so that's the middle one. The first one is my profile, and this is critical. When you come into the app, that you fill out your profile when you come in. The very first thing you should do when you come in, even if it's not perfect, even if you change it 50 times, that's okay. The first 3 lines of your profile are what everybody sees when they're in what we call the hallway. Okay, so even if you put mother, entrepreneur, you can put Monade if you want to. Some people do, some people don't. I have Monade in my profile. I want to be searched because I did a search of Monade. And guess how many people in the entire app had Monade in their profile? 3 people. So you know what? I was like, hey, I don't care. I'd rather be 4 because I want to be searched for that. It's not like other things. I mean, some people want to keep that, I don't know that word, you know what I mean, that anonymous thing. I want to be that Monate girl. I don't care. I'm all out there anyway. But so you want to do your 3 lines, right? You can always change your profile at any time. But the most important thing is that you connect your Twitter account and or your Instagram account, because if they're not connected, people cannot contact you. There's absolutely no way for them to contact you. So that is the direct link for them to then get into your Instagram Messenger. And that's what I talked about earlier, is what I did my first probably 3 or 4 days, is I was constantly just getting into people's Instagram Messenger and having conversations with them about the app until I felt confident enough and comfortable enough to, raise my hand, come up on stage and give some real value. The third slide is, you know what? That first slide, let me go back. At the bottom, you see the circles. There's an opportunity for you to join clubs, to become members of clubs when you get into the app. And what I was doing is I was meeting people that I liked, and I was seeing what clubs that they were in. And very early on, in fact, my first day, I joined 2 clubs that have been instrumental in my growth and my success on the app. One of them was a music club that, honestly, I realized my passion for music was lost, and I found it in this app. And then the second one was uh, the actually three clubs I joined: the women's business club, and then I joined a manifesting and makeup club. And in all 3 of those clubs, it took some time, but they made me admins in all of the clubs. So what I can do now, because I'm an admin in the club, or even if you're a member of the club, you can do a room that's sponsored by that club, and it shares to all their members of their club. So basically what it's doing is it's opening up the network of that club to you. And I know Tony's done some rooms in that business group. And you think of it as, when we were talking about this before we went live, is you think of it as putting yourself in a quality situation. So if you're not comfortable going into a room that has, 1,000 people in it, to go into a room with 5 people that you can create a quality relationship with is way more beneficial anyway. So putting yourself into groups and clubs that are of quality and what you're interested in, where you can add value, you're going to meet people that will be interested in you, that will attract to what you're doing in your business. So it's not about going in and finding, an entrepreneur club. It's about going in and finding a club of your people, of the people that you want to connect with. So I've done a lot of time just really just spending time in the app, just finding my passions again, discovering what I like, and that has transferred into my business. Okay, the third slide, or the third screen, is what they call your hallway. As you come in, they kind of walk you through what are your interests, check this box, check this, and you pick the things that you're interested in. And what that does is it kind of sets the algorithm to deliver the content to you. So you want to be, when you go in and you do that, I mean, you can check all of them, or you can zero it down. I recommend that you zero it down, because you can always add more to that aspect of your profile. But what it does is it then delivers the rooms, the clubs. You see on the top, those are my rooms and clubs that were set to run at that particular time that I copied that for Tony. And then you can see the second one, where it's the rooms that are currently active, that are engaging in conversation. I slid that over because, let's say you see, and I know that one of my girlfriends that came into the app with me, Brandy, some of you guys might know Brandy Norcus. We had a really great conversation about how we were seeing things that we did not want our eyes to see. And at first we didn't know how to get rid of them, but you really craft what you're going to see by hiding the rooms that you don't want to see, and that's how the algorithm's going to learn you. So you can see, you just kind of slide it over with your finger and it says hide, and then you just hide that room, and it's going to not deliver rooms of those keywords probably to you, is kind of how it works out. And also you can block certain people. They'd never know that you're blocking them, but what that does is it basically it tells the algorithm that you don't like what that person puts out, so it doesn't deliver that content to your hallway. You're not going to get them in trouble by blocking them. It doesn't ask why. It's somewhat akin to unfriending, but I found that I don't block that many people, but I have blocked a few people that I just don't want to see their stuff, just because they just bring me down. So that's pretty much that, unless anybody has questions about that section.
I have a quick question. Where you have the thing where you follow somebody. Are we going to get to that? Because I want to know what that little star thing is in the circle just to the right of that, where you follow somebody.
So the
I've not been.
star, so the star that's up on the third screen up there it means that you have invites. So every time you see that when you open up your app, you have to go in and you can go in and invite people, whether they're in your contacts, like over here on screen 2, it says you have 2 invites, right? Who's a great potential addition to Clubhouse? You just don't want to invite them without giving them the personal invitation so they accept it.
Correct.
Okay,
And
so
I've been able, go ahead,
something
go ahead.
else.
Go ahead, Bridget. Sorry, go ahead, Bridget.
But you know what? It's not on one of these screens yet. So let me just hold off and wait.
Okay. Let me get to it. I've been able to organize trains for people to join. And that's how I've used my invites, is that I will, like, if we've got, a few people that want to join, what we will do is when you join, you get 2 invites automatically. When I first joined, you only got 1. But what we did is we will line people up and say, okay, I'm going to send you an invite and you're going to use one of your invites for this person, and then they're going to use one of their invites for this person. So that's a great way to organize your team. If you want to bring your team of people on, that's the very best way. They still end up with 1 invite for themselves for personal, but then 1 committed to the team. And we just do it all at the same time. We set a time, we do it during a team meeting or something like that. We get everybody on, and that's pretty effective.
Okay. So here we're going over here to events. Okay. So you can either schedule an event or you can look at the ones up and coming. So you can do, when you click on over here where we have circled the calendar, you can click on it and you can see all upcoming. You can see upcoming for you if you have chosen to follow that, or my events, the ones that you have scheduled. So this is a comprehensive calendar. You can schedule it. I don't know how far you can schedule it out. Lori, do you know that?
I think it's 2 weeks.
Okay. 2 weeks in advance, you can schedule all these. What I strongly encourage is that you schedule your event. Don't schedule any events on the weekends. For weekends on Clubhouse, it is much less traveled. The one thing, the one thing is that if you're committing to do a regular weekly call, that's one thing. I've seen, great response, but they're doing their stuff at their scheduled time. So if you plan on doing something, it has to have something that is of value. It has to be something that's educational, and it has to be something engaging. But it also has to be something on a regular scheduled program. Like I do lunch and learns every Monday at 1:00. Okay. So our audience knows that we're doing something. It's not always related to network marketing, but it's related. And you guys, I keep it very general. I don't talk about Monate. I don't talk about, if we're talking about network marketing, we're talking about that. If we're talking about, a multiple stream of income, we're talking about that. If we're talking about mindset, we're talking about that. Because what you want to do is you want to build that relationship with people, and you want to bring them into your sphere of influence without having to shove Monate down somebody's throat. So I just want to be very clear about that. Now, if you are being clear and saying, hey, I am doing a Monate social, a top 10, a dare to succeed or whatever, that's fine, but make it very clear about what you're doing in the description and in the title. That's key. But the other thing that I've noticed that when I do rooms is that the more specific you are, the more people you attract into your room. So the one thing that I have found through networking in my career is that you have to be super specific. And there's nothing wrong with that, because then people will, their mind will trigger, instead of saying, oh, who do you know that has hair and skin? Or who do you know that's looking to make extra money? No, get really specific. I would love to meet realtors that have extra time on their hands when they have a downturn that they can come to, and they can build a multiple stream of income. right? You want to be very specific in your title and in your description. But here's the other thing too. Give them 3 bullet points of how you're going to provide value in the description for your event. So when you click on that event, that's what you're going to do. So let me move. Lori, do you have anything you want to add?
No, that's right on. You're going to be one of the extreme. You're going to be very specific, or you're going to be general enough that you're going to bring people to the table over a pain point. And have a discussion. Yeah,
exactly. But if you're doing a networking, like, hey, getting to know you, what do? You can be more broad about that for sure. Come in, tell us all about your business. Give us 3 to 5 people that you're looking for referrals. That's simple. That's very broad. And you can do that in a networking forum. But the caveat is that you have to be consistent to keep bringing people into your room. Okay. So how to create your event. Okay. Number 1 is that on that screen that we just showed you, you're going to click on new event. You're going to give it a name. You guys, I highly encourage you to use emojis in your event name and use different fonts, because what it's going to do, that visual is going to draw people into it. Then you're the host. If you're starting the room, you're the host. You can add a co-host or a guest. I strongly encourage that you have at least 3 to 4 co-hosts, because what they're going to be able to do is ping people into the room. And we'll talk about pinging in just a second. But the more hosts that you have, the more people that they're going to bring in your room. Now, you don't want to have an overwhelming amount. I think that 4 to 6 is a really good amount, unless you're doing something really quick, like a 30-second intro for a networking group or something like that, or a tagline group, or but it's got to be simple. If you're going to have multiple hosts over 4.
And it shares it to their followers. And then it also kind of gives people that are looking a vibe, because they can then search those profiles and read what those people are about. And it gives them the opportunity to connect and engage before they come into the room too.
Right. So there's a date and time. That's very obvious. Description. You do not want more than 3 to 5 sentences. It has to hit home. They have to be able to read it in 30 seconds or less and bullet point it. Again, emojis, bullet point it. Those 3 to 5 high level description factors, they only need to be 3 to 5 words. People need to be able to read it in 30 seconds or less, or you've lost them.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. So let's go to the next one. Okay. So going back to the invites. So you saw the little icons at the top where it says you have no invites left, but before, when we showed you the screen, is that the little plus sign with your little envelope? Okay, once you've used all the invites, you can't invite any more people right now, right? So see the pending invites? These are the people that you have invited that have not accepted. Well, number 1 reason is that they have a droid and you didn't know it because you didn't pre-qualify them. Number 2 is that somebody else invited them and they accepted that invite before they accepted yours. So again, just like our follow-up, just like us qualifying people in our business, you're doing the same thing on Clubhouse. Okay? Anything else, Lori?
No, that's it.
Okay. Now you're in a room. Hold on 1 second. I have to move my screen over because you guys are in the way of the screen over here. So you're in a room, right? You've either created the room or you're participating in a room. First thing I'm going to tell you, to get you higher up on the screen, you've got to be following one of the speakers, because you're going to get bumped up and you're going to be followed by the speakers, right? So people are going to see you more, because this is going to be your screen while you're listening, while you're moderating, or whether you're on stage. Okay. So let me explain something real quick. If you're listening and one of the moderators invites you to become a speaker, okay, they're going to click on your little circle and they're going to invite you to come up, but you have to accept. Okay.
It's okay. You're all right.
Now, the other thing is that if you
That's
decide
easy.
that you want, hold on.
That's a perfect segue, Tony.
So you have people that will come into your room and they won't be muted. So you've got to mute them, which is the mute key right here. That's self-explanatory, right? So you're in your room and let's say that you want to speak or you want to ask a question. This is your raise hand right down here where I don't know if you can see my cursor, but the raise hand with the little note, that right there is how you can raise your hand to speak. So one of the moderators is going to bring you up on the stage. Now your stage is going to be above, followed by the speaker's line. So you see there's six pictures here. We're all on stage. Me with the green button before I knew anything, I'm the moderator. I can make any one of the speakers moderators, and you want to do that when you first start out because moderators are going to get more invites. When you start a room, you're going to get more invites. So the best thing that you can do is you can bring people up on stage to speak. And when they have the little party hat like Janine or Stephanie has down here and followed by the speakers, that means they're new. If you make them a moderator, they're automatically going to get more invites. I call it the upside down party hat, but that means they've been in Clubhouse less than 7 days. They're brand new. They're learning the ropes. And every time I start a room, I give people, here's the framework. Go down to the bottom, share your link on Facebook because there is a way that you can do that. And I'm not sure if we have that on this particular screen share, but you go down there, you share your link. Okay. You go down there when you hit the plus sign next to the raised hand is that you want to ping people into your room. That's really important. You're inviting them. So you're going to ping people. And if they will get a notification to their phone that they're being pinged into a room to come and listen. Now, your title has to be sexy. This was one of the first ones I did. My title is not sexy. It didn't have some cool, fun emojis. It didn't have like anything that grabbed the attention. It was like, but we did okay. We had 20 people in that room for our first room. I was like, woo, right?
That's great.
But the more that we do this, the more we get familiar with it. Now, I want to back up. I want to say that when you invite someone into Clubhouse, they get an opportunity to be welcomed. You've got to do that for them because you get more invites, they get more invites. And you guys, they're going to monetize this entire platform. And it's going to be based on how interactive you are. This is not going to be like Instagram. It's going to be completely different. So it's going to be based on your activity. And they've already laid the framework for it. It's not like, some of these other platforms where, you get so many followers, you get $1 or anything like that. It's going to be based on interaction. And that's the one thing that I love about it. And it's a true, hey, let's just have a simple convo type of thing. So, okay, hand raise.
Can I add to that where you're talking about that, Tony?
Absolutely.
We've been trained in social media to not, have friends that are in our business, right? To not have, and it's always kind of, I get it, to see under somebody's, MP's follow, this app is the direct opposite. Okay. And it really, the one thing I just love about that is it does fit our spirit of our culture of our company, to just connect and bond and work together. So I always struggled with Facebook and Instagram, although I understand how the algorithm works. And I understand how my feed is overrun, cheering on all my team. And I don't care because now I've found my app where the whole purpose of it is for us to connect and to work together to network and share our love of Monate. And Tony and I were talking about this before we went live, is that I am following anybody and everybody that's with Monate. I am following anybody and everybody that will listen to me about hair care, skincare, and wellness. And my biggest reason, and I want to say that why it's really important, if you do have, and you are stuck with that thought of, well, I just don't want, I don't want to intermingle. It's confusing. Our friends, then how do we know? Wash all of that out of your mind, because here's the thing. We are a company of abundance, not scarcity. As this app grows, we are going to need each other to have each other's backs. There's so many times I've been in a conversation about skin or about hair, that in a professional group where I've wanted to ping in a hairdresser or somebody that's way more knowledgeable about skincare or wellness on my team. But because they're not here or they haven't followed me, I haven't been able to bring them into the conversation so that we could divide and conquer. And that really is the essence of this, to bring in voices that have the knowledge and that we can reinforce each other. Now, if somebody decides to join or somebody decides to be a customer and I brought them into the app, you know what? We can work that out. We're professionals, right? That is here or here. That doesn't matter. It's about being abundant and really getting the message of what Monade is about. I just think of it, I look at it as, this app is such a wave of the future, and it just is so aligned with our culture and our company that we are going to get on this app and we are going to explode. The more we grow, the global nature of the app is just going to continue to grow. So, I think it's important to develop relationships, to bring people in, to engage with each other like we love to do, and we can do it right here. We can still, keep our separation in the other apps. There's rules in life in different places. In this place, I'm so encouraged and excited about the opportunity to engage with my people here.
Well, I think true, Lori, to what you said, is that this is a collaboration. It is about education. It is about providing value. And regardless, we all have to have, and maybe this is part of their philosophy, is to really bring that platform of sharing, because you're not going to be able to be successful on this platform by having a scarcity mentality. I'm just telling you guys right now. This is a, collaboration. You get, people from, Grant Cardone giving his information, on a free speech platform. And, you can't charge for it on these platforms. It's truly about making connections. And I'm using him as an example because he's been one of the very few, multi-million-dollar, speakers that are using this platform, and they are just sharing what they know. I haven't seen too much of that. And maybe
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Bob Heilig also has one at 9 a.m. Eastern time every Monday through Friday. And he stays on at least an hour and a half. I've seen him go as long as 3 hours. And he literally just answers questions for people every single morning. He's awesome to wake up to.
That's great. Thanks, Carla. So, again, it is all about collaboration and sharing. And that's what we know, that, when you give away, when you give away, when you truly have a platform where you can share with people your expertise and you don't expect anything in return, that's when the doors open. It is like a floodgate. So I just wanted to share that as well. So thank you guys for that. Okay. So you guys, pretty much, I think that's it in a nutshell. Lori, do you have anything that you want to share? And let me just backtrack. When you're on these clubhouses, I would refrain from saying any part of the company that you're a part of. The reason why is that you want to keep the playing field level, unless it is a Monate specific phone call. You want to keep the playing level, the
Yeah.
field level for everybody that's in every network marketing company, because there's enough to go around, right? Okay, so that is one thing that I did want to address. But as far as everything else, you guys, the one thing is that there's a ton of very successful network marketers on Clubhouse. They're in other companies. They've built 8 and 9-figure incomes, 7-figure incomes, even 6-figure incomes. You guys, that is at the 1% of all of network marketing. If they have earned $100,000 or more in network marketing, they're in the top 1%. And I can tell you, a lot of these people that are on these platforms have not ever done that. And that is just, I'm not going, I'm going to
Tony,
edit.
can I add too, and I found, and I just really want to really challenge people to not spend money on this app by people. Don't buy into PDFs and don't buy into coaching from this app, because I've seen just early on people really getting wrapped up into, trainings and this and that. And you know what? Anything that's has value, you can get for free. And I agree with Tony. There's so much that our company offers us that we just don't need to be spending money to be trained at all. If they're offering something free, I'm always down to sit and listen and hash through it. But if there's a charge for it, absolutely no need for that. So I just want to add that.
Yeah, here's the other thing, and you guys, I'm going to edit this out because we're just family here, and I'm just speaking to all of you from the love out of my heart. Is that there have been a lot of other network marketing trainers that were with a company prior, and they're not with a company now, but then they went to a company and then they had this huge following. And then what happens? Guys, it even happened with Zig Ziglar. It happened with somebody that was corporate in Monate for the first 4 years. She was in this company. She was in the field with another company that actually Stuart was in. And because he had created that following, he took, a large part of that organization because they thought it was going to be, again, the grass is always greener on the other side type of thing. I just want you guys to be super careful of who you're exposing your folks to. And that's just me coming from the heart. And that is why I do not share anybody anything unless they're leaders in our organization. And they're not even leaders on our team. The Kimbros have trained for us. The Ross are training for us tomorrow night. They're not a part of our team, but I love them. And we collaborate and we're all in Monate together. And we all want to see everybody win. It's the same philosophy, but there is no secret to this business. It's all about personal activity. It's all about recruiting. It's all about VIP acquisition. It's all about following up. It's all about loving on every single person that's you're a part of with this business, or not a part of, but they support you. So that's really all I want to say. That's not going to be a part of this training. That's just me coming to you as someone who wants to see your success, someone who wants you to be successful, someone that you guys can reach out to me anytime and I am here for you. So I just want you to know that. But all right, I'm done. I'm off my soapbox. Lori, do you have anything else to add before we wrap this up and cut out?
I'm just looking at the group, and I want to say into this step right here, don't be scared to raise your hand. Don't be, you're going to be nervous anyway. But I want to tell you guys, just jump in and do it. Just, I hunker down in my car a lot, and, because in my house, it might not be appropriate for my kids in the background to be loud. But the more you do it, the easier it becomes. And you forget that, you just think of it as you're sitting at lunch with your girlfriends and you're having a conversation. But you're having a conversation of your choice. You have the choice in this app of what you're going to listen to. And if you find that you're on a stage and it's not benefiting you, or you're not of any benefit, leave. Do not waste your time and sit there. This is an app where you don't have to, say unmute and say, oh, well, I'm going to go. It's not rude in this app to just get up and go. It's not. So that's really important to know, that if you have somewhere to go, people know, you get phone calls, you get busy. That's kind of etiquette on this app. People understand that that's happening. So do not waste time sitting there for an hour because somebody made you a mod and you don't want to offend them. Just go.
All right. So you guys, if you have invites available on Clubhouse, I want to give you just a few minutes to put that in the chat box. If so, you guys have to you have to exchange phone numbers and get connected so you can add people. I don't have any left. I spent mine today. I had 3 more when I woke up this morning. I was like, woo! And I had people
Tony,
waiting.
I can start a train from
Okay.
this one, if somebody wants to, Casey's got invites. The best way to do that is to start a train. So if there's anybody on here, you can private message me, either through Messenger, and I can get that started. So let me see let me look at the messages here. Yeah, or you see people has a couple. If you see anybody on there, just go ahead and just message anybody on there. I have a couple too, so we can either do a train or we can just do some individuals. Trying to think if there was anything else that one thing that we didn't talk about is establishing our own club. And that wasn't something that we spoke about or addressed, but it is something that if you come onto the app, to apply for a club, to have your own club. And I don't know, Tony, have you applied for Effing Simple yet?
I have. It's not come through yet.
You're still waiting. Okay. There's a couple things that I've learned from sitting in on some informational things with that. And you have to do 3 weekly sessions before you will even be considered. So it's going to take 3 weeks to get those in, and they do go back and look. And then your application has to be complete. So if you did not put a picture or you left something blank, it slows down the process. You can apply for 2 clubs. You should make them different in nature. So they should have different, you get to pick 3 areas that they are focused under, like entrepreneurial, health and wellness, beauty. I would make both of those clubs different ones. You don't want to apply for 2 entrepreneurial clubs. That's just some of the advice that I've been given. Take it with a grain of salt. And there is no rhyme or reason about who gets clubs and who doesn't get clubs. So I will tell you, the day you come in, you should plan out open up 3 rooms. And I did it with Brandy and Donica and I. What we did is we did 3 rooms back to back. We did a 15-minute room, then we did a half an hour room, and then the next day we did an hour room. And within a day, we each had our first set of invites from that. So it triggers when you are a moderator for 3 rooms that are opened up. And then the 3-week thing for the clubs. So that's just a little bit of technical information if you want to boost up your invites. But applying for your club, and I applied for 2 clubs and I haven't heard, and I've been on the app for 6 weeks too. So same as you, Tony, just kind of waiting. But yeah.
Yep. So the thing about it is that, again, it's in beta testing. You guys just be patient, and let's just have fun with it. I mean, that's really what it's all about. And it's such a great, different type of platform. I think it's going to replace podcasting. Honestly, I think you are going to be able to monetize your rooms and have, different, levels of what you can do. So, again, I'm never especially as technology evolves, is that, you know, you have to find your platform, your voice. And this is my voice. And it's what speaks to me. So I'm loving it. But I thank you guys so much for spending time with us tonight. And we'll get this edited and get it up so you guys can share.
Yep. Thanks,
All
Tony.
right. Thanks, guys. Love you all.